and welcome back to Those Two Geeks. Once again, he's Alex, I'm Joe, and it is Saturday night. And it's all right for a fight, but it's also good for a podcast. And we decided that our schedules weren't quite syncing up this week, but we would at least hop on the mic and give some thoughts of the goings on the world of entertainment and whatnot. Um, Alex succinctly said that he does not have anything, and that's okay because I'm here to pull us up. Just a few things to talk about. I figured we'll keep this one Batman centric because it seems to
Hey,
be
it works.
the news this week. So I think you saw the Cape Crusader trailer, correct?
Nope,
For Prime?
nope, sure didn't.
You didn't? You sure didn't. It was about 2 minutes long. So the show is
So here's the thing: I had no idea the show was coming out until you just asked me if I saw the trailer.
yeah, it's starting in August on Prime.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
See,
People
this is one of
are.
those.
Sorry.
Okay, this is one of those moments where if we weren't rushed for time, I would actually go and look at the trailer and then we come
Yeah,
back. But
I have thoughts. It looks fantastic. The animation
okay,
obviously is different. It is very much a Bruce Timm spiritual successor to the BTAS,
hmm
but it's where BTAS was like ambiguous with the time period. It could be contemporary. It could take place. Like it took bits and pieces. This is very much a period piece. It takes place in completely in the 40s. It's very noir, which is great. I love
yep,
the design. Um, I love some of the redesigns they're going with, like very gritty, grounded designs, not anything crazy and fantastic this time around. I like the voice for Batman so far. It sort of I had to do like a couple watches because it sounded like Kevin Conroy. So it can't be Kevin Conroy. There's no way this was created while he was alive. So someone's doing a really good, impression or influence of him. It's not a Robin show. It's definitely not going to be, it's Cape Crusader. It's really basically Bob Kane, Bill Finger, original, I would say like 40 issues of Batman inspired.
yeah. It look. I'm watching a trailer now
Yeah,
without
it
sound,
looks
and the
looks
costume
good.
looks like it's the very first image of Batman, but with black
Yeah.
gloves instead of purple. Like they're shorter gloves to the wrist. So
Hmm.
it looks fantastic, and you're right, it
Looks
looks
so
very
good.
BTAS.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think will help it because one, it's Bruce Timm. It's the same creative
Yeah,
team. I don't know if Paul Dini's part of it this time around, but Bruce Timm is definitely the main guy. And they're complete reinventions. Like they've already said, oh, we're not going near the Joker. Everyone does the Joker, which is complete utter bullshit. I know the Joker is going to pop up probably at the
it,
cliffhanger of the show.
I think as long as they stay away from the Joker initially,
Right.
I'm fine. Right? Like
Okay.
I think that's fair. Like it just to stay away initially, and then after
Exactly.
that point, you'll be not good to go. But if you bring him
Yeah.
in, then it's at the end, right? And that's kind of what people are expecting. So
So what I think they're doing is going with the more like very street level characters, like the
yeah.
Clayface is Basil Carlo, I would guess, or if not Basil Carlo, it's Matt Hagen, but he's a serial killer. It looks like, and he's gonna be a little more mysterious. Two Face, there is Harvey Dent in it. It looks like there's an arc, but you also see a glimpse of Two Face, and he's not radically designed. He's even more grounded than say the Christopher Nolan. Like it's he's burnt and he's definitely Two Face,
hmm
but he's not like over the top, completely disfigured.
Yeah.
And then they have Harley Quinn, which is the complete departure that everyone is freaking out about. And she's more like a silent geisha assassin style. She's very like she's a harlequin, but she's very stoic and looks very menacing. So I'm interested to see how they go with her on it. I know people are pissed because she's a heavier set character this time around and like she's different ethnicity and all that stuff, but you know what, this is a totally different
I
world.
and I think it goes back to what you and I have said before. if the ethnicity doesn't fundamentally change the character,
Mhm.
then whatever, it doesn't matter.
Agreed. Like Magneto, we've always agreed you
Agreed.
can't take like he's
Like
Jewish.
his origin is really should be set in stone because it's such a key facet of his character,
Correct. And
right?
like
Like this isn't that.
no, and this is also Matt Reeves is the executive producer on this show, along with Bruce Timm. So it's very heavily the Batman influence
Mm.
because Gordon is modeled after Jeffrey Wright and
I thought
Barbara.
I was wondering that. Like looking at him,
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder.
And I'm thinking the other girl with the red hair is Barbara. She's also African American, but they don't outright say it. But my guess is that's Barbara.
That would that was my assumption, honestly, when I saw it.
Yeah. So I like the run. You've got a very interesting looking Firefly. He doesn't look super menacing. He almost looks like a nerd who's got a grudge. And then the one I don't know if you caught it since you just watched it. They put Kevin Smith's creation in there, which I think will fit, which is onomatopoeia.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, it's the one that has the spiral on the face and he says bang. Like if you remember onomatopoeia from Kevin Smith's run in Green Arrow and also a lot of DC books,
Yeah,
he was
he says his sound effects as he's going.
exactly. And I
Yeah,
think that could be a really interesting uh, new type of villain for animation. I'm really curious to see how that goes. But I have high hopes for it. But these people talking about it's going to rival X-Men '97, it's like whoa, 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 hold your horses, man.
yeah. I
'97's a masterpiece.
I hope that it does, and I
Yeah.
say that genuinely because any good animation show is always a benefit to
Hmm.
everyone involved. Do
Agreed.
I seriously think it can rival 97? I mean, I would
Depends.
love to be proved wrong. I
Right.
really would, right? Like, I would genuinely love to them say, "Hey, this is almost as good as X Men '97." I'd be like, "No,
Right.
it's not." Okay, yeah, it is.
And the
So,
other thing is the hurdle is it has to live up to the original BTAS, which is near perfection in
yeah,
everyone's
like
eyes.
any kind of animation that has a very similar style to BTS has to live up
Mhm.
to it, or at the very least, has to be comparable to it.
Right. And for me, I think if this show's smart, it will. Well, you got Matt Reeves as the producer. I think that says
Yeah.
something. I think it will lean heavily. It won't be Robert Pattinson's Batman, but it will take things from Robert Pattinson's
Hmm.
Batman, where it's more Batman heavy than Bruce Wayne heavy, if I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
I've seen the models for Bruce Wayne. He looks classic. He looks great. Catwoman's in my favorite Catwoman costume, the very original, which I think is a real neat
The
version to
like
do.
with the cape.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
yeah, they're
crazy.
going very 40s with this. Like, and I'm very happy for that
Yeah.
because you'll get like the Mad Monk, you'll get maybe Hugo Strange, you'll get those original, very dark Bob Kane, Bill Finger issues that you got to remember from like Detective 27 to like Batman 1 when it became Batman was very, very dark stories. They
Yeah,
weren't
they
like
were.
kids. So I'm excited for that part. I'm looking forward to it. But that wasn't the only Batman news. I just read it about 10 minutes ago, and that's why I said, okay, Batman. This is flooring me right now. I did not expect this. So the Penguin's coming out in September on HBO Max.
Yep.
Robert Pattinson is Batman in that series,
Are you
and
shitting
not
me?
just a cameo.
Huh.
I did not expect that at
I
all.
was willing to not skip that, but not be as invested or as rushed as how do I say it? Like I wasn't gonna rush to watch that
Right,
episode or those episodes because it's a villain tie and it's not gonna
right.
be the end of the world if I catch it or not. It's gonna be a prequel. Okay, it's not.
It's not a
So
prequel, I don't
yeah,
think.
I
It's
think so. I think that makes it that much more interesting.
yeah, and the other thing is, I think Matt Reeves has realized. This is my guess. Is HBO Max was probably sold on it, but they were like, "We want fucking Batman in this. This can't be Gotham like on Fox, where it's
Yeah.
a Batman show with no Batman. You got to at least have him be involved. And also, the movie's been delayed so many times at this point, where I think they're going to probably take some ideas that they would have put in the next movie and have him in it. Like, do I think he'll be in every episode? No, but the fact that he's even in it at all before
Yeah.
after a cameo is wonderful news for them, and it will only get you more hyped for the next
Well,
movie.
I think it makes sense if he's only in it at the end, like all of a sudden he hears what Penguin's doing and tries to stop him, right? Like I
Well,
think that's I
yeah,
mean, if you see Jim Gordon a bit more in it as well, even better. But
I'm hoping.
like this way, at least you can use Penguin to update people as to what's been going on in the world. And if you don't happen to watch it, then it's probably not the end of the world.
Right.
But I mean, people are going to watch it because it's Batman live action show. And if
And also,
Batman's
Colin
in it,
Farrell did a brilliant job. So,
well, that's just it, right? Like there's so many reasons that people are going to want to watch this.
mhm. Like this looks like it's gonna be Batman mixed with Sopranos. Like they're taking it very serious, and I think it could do well. Like, do I think it will get seasons? I wouldn't think so, but I could be wrong.
I
But
sometimes I prefer when things don't get like multiple
and
seasons. If the story is good and told well and done in one go,
right,
you don't need more than one.
right. And I also think this is very much a James Gunn directive, where there's a lot of tie-ins for his projects. He seems to
Yeah.
have some kind of television tie-in for certain things, but this one at least is not James Gunn. Like this is Matt Reeves's baby. Like the Batman, Robert Pattinson, the Batman universe is left alone. It's its own thing, and from what we're seeing lately, I'm very glad. But
Hmm.
we could also talk about that too. So there've been more set studio shots of Superman in costume and whatnot. They're obviously heavy into filming it right now. um it's very tough for me because I'm a classic guy, but I think in movies at this point, Trunks doesn't work anymore. I don't get
I
the idea of why.
I think Trunks work if there's a
Like a
like the
flashback, sure.
yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like in the comics, fine, whatever. I think Trunks are a product of their time
Yes.
because it's a 40s, 50s, 60s thing that
Right.
it was a way to do it. It helped shading the definition of the body. They don't need to happen now, and I don't
No.
know why in 2024 we're still design or drawing Batman with Trunks, or you're still
Hmm.
doing Superman with Trunks when they don't really need to. Now, I think the caveat for Superman, at least, is that no one really knows how to draw him without Trunks. Like Batman is
Right.
primarily almost always in shadow. Like you rarely actually see Batman's lower body
Right.
or his like lower torso in when it isn't in shade. So I think for Batman, it's more of a moot point
Agreed.
than it is Superman because half the time I forget Batman's wearing trunks until all of a sudden you see
Right.
a shot lit from the bottom, like, oh yeah, you look kind of dumb.
Yeah, I mean, just in live action though, like it I don't know. It like Christopher Reeve, obviously it worked
Yeah,
because it was that time. Now it just looks hokey. I think Henry Cavill's suit was damn near perfect, except a little too dark. And then when they lightened it up in Whedon's Justice League, it was kind of almost perfect. But also Tyler Hoechlin's suit is so good too, with a minor couple changes. If you've seen this suit, like I don't know if you've seen these pictures, they're pretty detailed. Like I Trunks, okay, you can kind of sell me it's Superman, but the idea of belt loops with Trunks is really stupid. It's really dumb. Like, are you saying that these hold up his pants? And also, why on a futuristic, like alien technology suit do you have trunks with belt loops that look like they are out of like Walmart? It's just, it's weird choices that James Gunn's making. And when he's standing up in certain pictures, he feels the suit good. I'm like, okay, in post and all the movie magic that's
Yeah,
going to go into it could be great. But when he sits and the suit is like baggy and like folds and like it's just, I'm like, how are you gonna fix that? I don't know. I mean, everyone's like, well, just have faith in James Gunn. He did Guardians. It's true. He did Suicide Squad too, and I like them both. But like, this is Superman, man. You got to get
yeah.
this right out the gate. And I really despise the way Mr. Terrific looks. He looks so low budget, it's not even funny. I'm like, he shouldn't be in this movie. We don't need these guys in this fucking movie. But we'll see.
I had no idea Mr. Terrific was in there.
Oh, dude, he's in every photo so far. And I'm like, I like Mr. Terrific as a character. He's a genius level intellect, but he would be better served as his secret identity running, inventions and
Yeah,
things to be introduced, not next to Superman in the street while they're saving a burning building. Oh, just I'm like, what are we going for here? You need to. It's superheroes, yes, but you also need to. This, the audience needs to at least buy into it a little bit. There
yeah.
has to be, and it's just right now what I'm seeing. Whew, it's pretty tough, and it's just like it disheartening as a very big DC fan. It's like, come on, guys, like put the effort in. You know, seriously.
I'm sure there's going to be more effort put in post.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
it makes you wonder in the moment when
And you know
all
what's really funny too is like this kid uncannily looks like Henry Cavill.
and I do remember though that we weren't super thrilled with how Robert Pattinson looked in the Batman suit
True.
until we actually saw it like live and how it worked. So
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to give it the benefit of the doubt for that reason and just let it happen as it's going to happen. So I feel like it's
Right.
probably going to be one of those things where when you see it on screen, it's pulled together, it's going to work.
Right.
I think that might be because we're only now getting Wolverine in his yellow costume after so many years, and I
True.
wonder if it's a case of had they probably thought about like it's not going to work, it's not going to work, and then they see it and oh okay maybe it does work on screen, maybe it looks a bit funny when he's walking around fully yellow, but on the screen it works.
Looks perfect.
It looks great, and I think that might be part of it is that we're so used to seeing stuff that there's something slightly off about or is different enough. Maybe these costumes are going to look great when they're on screen. I don't know. I
Yeah.
understand everyone's concerns with the trunks and the belt loops. It isn't my preference, but I'm happy to be proven wrong when it finally comes through. So
Yeah. It's like I know what he's going for. He wants it to be unmistakably classic Superman, but at the same time, the elements he chose, like the S alone, people are bitching about. To me, it's the
yeah.
new 52 S, but everyone's saying it's Kingdom Come S in different colors. They're very similar. But
Oh, they
like,
are. They really are.
yeah, and I'm all right with that because have you seen that cartoon, My Adventures with Superman?
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
It's a great show. Honestly, I love the show because it's just a fun dynamic. But it looks like he's pulling from that too. So it's more streamlined with what's on in that show. So you kind of got your animation mixing up, I mean, matching up with what your live action product is.
Mm.
But it's just like there are better ways to do it. Like I said, Tyler Hoechlin's suit is pretty much great for me. And it looks terrific when it's, the budget behind it on screen and it's just a good suit. The only thing I would do is brighten it. Like all these Superman suits seem to be very drab, dull, worn down colors. And like that's all you have to do in my eyes is brighten it to make it more Superman. And I've never seen this kid or guy, David Cornsweet. I've never seen him in anything. I don't know what he's like. All I know is for a studio that didn't want anything to do with Henry Cavill, they picked somebody who looked just about exactly like him a few years younger, which is just
I
really weird.
Part of me is like I wonder if that's because that's just how how much Henry Cavill has the Superman look that people want, right? Like
He's
we're
perfect
so
Superman.
yeah, agreed. And I wonder if that's part of the issue is that he's so good at being Superman and looks so great, and people are so happy with it that the new actor is going to by default look so much like Henry Cavill
Yeah,
Superman.
yeah. I mean, we're gonna run into this down the road when Hugh Jackman finally hangs up the claws for good and is like, "I'm done." You know, everyone's gonna compare him to Hugh Jackman, whoever the next Wolverine is.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been going back and forth on it a lot. I think maybe a Daniel Radcliffe is a very smart idea because it's such a departure. Otherwise, it might feel like, oh, a Hugh Jackman clone or just like
Yeah,
more of the same. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm looking forward to all these projects, but it's tough because when you see stuff that is taken out of context and you can't really gauge it, like it's not good lighting, it's not, a set
I
photo that's press, you know?
I'd like to point out that we're acknowledging the fact it's out of context and the lighting
It
isn't great
is.
and everything, and we're like, you know what, we'll get to it when we get to it, or it'll be what it will be.
Exactly.
Because how many times have you and I been annoyed at something
So many.
and then it's
It's like
fine? So now we're like,
learn
hey,
our lesson now, you
yeah,
know?
it's not great now, but it will be, or it could be, and we're going to give it the benefit of the doubt until we see it, right? Like
Right.
I still haven't seen the Marvels. I'm still willing to give it the benefit of the doubt until I see it.
Oh,
But
that's on you. I
oh,
wouldn't
I
do
know.
that if my life
I'm.
depended on it.
I mean, the thing is, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and then when I see it, I'll probably agree with you because it's usually what happens.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, no, you're right, it sucked.
Well, like for example, and then we'll wrap up pretty soon
Yeah.
because, like I said, quick episode. Look at the care that went into, like, I mean, Marvel DC. Deadpool's costume is virtually perfect. They
Hmm.
nailed every single aspect of it.
I don't think there's anything about his costume I would change.
Nothing I would change. It's the perfect interpretation, and like it's now brighter for the third one, so
Yeah.
that's even better. The Wolverine costume was like such a worry because it's a garish costume. Like it's
Yeah.
bright yellow. How do you do it?
How do you make it work? Right? Like,
Right.
and I think the only way you could make it work is to go with the astonishing look. Because again, the trunks,
Right.
right? Or so you would do the astonishing look where it's a bit different, or you do um like the new brown suit where instead of trunks he's got the two tone that goes right down his legs
Hmm.
instead. So something like that could work. Like if you had the stripes in blue or the
Right.
tiger stripes in blue, but they extend down to his thighs or something, like like you could have something like that would work. Um, I don't know how else you could do it, but I think the way that they've done it is absolutely perfect.
Perfect.
You
Perfect.
you know you know that they're going to do an action figure of that at some point,
Oh, of
and I
course.
can't and obviously we're going to buy it.
Yeah. I mean, they nailed every aspect. Like everything that you would
Yeah.
think would be a worry, the blue shoulder pads, like everything works on the suit that they designed. And I honestly thought when Deadpool and Wolverine got announced a while back, I thought they were gonna 100% go with the brown outfit. Like that's seems more gritty and whatever.
Yeah.
But Ryan Reynolds was like, "No, we're bringing you the quintessential mind's eye of Wolverine. If we're gonna put him in a costume, it's gonna be the one that everyone recognizes."
Yep.
And the helmet is beautiful. Like everything just looks gorgeous on the costume.
It's
Right. So
I
I'm
love the
stoked.
fact this one with sleeves. I think without
Hmm.
sleeves is fantastic. Like
Yep.
there's nothing about this costume I think is I don't want to say it's wrong, but there's
No.
nothing about this costume that I think is in any way, shape, or form I would change. Given that it's a faith. God, I can't talk this late at night. It's as
It's okay.
faithful recreation. Yeah, it's faithful recreation of the comic book suit in real life as you can get, given
Yeah,
the bloody colors of the thing,
exactly. And
right?
like,
Like,
think about it this way: why would Wolverine be sleeveless? Like he's a samurai tactician, like assassin. How many of those you know without sleeves running
It,
around in like
the o-
tight suits?
yeah, the only reason I've thought of him being sleeveless is so that he can move his arms out a little bit faster,
Mm,
so that there's nothing catching under, his because it's like when you got like a t-shirt, like or a tank top versus like a
yeah,
long sleeve t-shirt, there's a bit of drag. Like that's the only thing I could think of as to why he's often sleeveless. Other than
right.
that, it make like him with sleeves makes sense. Maybe he ripped them off. He's like, oh, I can move my arms faster because it's his arms that are the what that do the primary damage. And it's not
Right.
like he needs armor on his arms or anywhere really.
No.
Like maybe over his stomach because there's no
Well, it's also the
adamantium
macho
ribs.
aesthetic. I mean, it just looks
Oh, that
cooler.
too, yeah.
So, but it's amazing that they're faithfully recreating it in a like practical way that doesn't look stupid. And I
Yeah.
guess like Marvel is the king of this because look what they had to do with Captain America. Like how
I
hard that was to
the
translate.
the ironic thing is his suit in the Avengers is the
Awful.
dumbest looking one. And I
Yes.
think they even address that in the movie as to it looks dumb, but it's done almost deliberately because Coulson wanted to bring back the 1941
Right.
aesthetic, and then
Yep.
he never wears it again. He never
No.
wears that suit again. He'll wear like a version of the Winter Soldier suit or his
Right.
earlier suit or something, right? He never actually wears that suit again.
No, which makes sense. I mean, the Winter Soldier suit is my by far favorite
Uh-huh.
for him with the
Agreed.
silver and a little more muted. But yeah, dude, like I am stoked for Deadpool and Wolverine. It's coming up fast. I'm doing your for once I'm taking a play out of your book and avoiding as many spoilers as humanly possible because I was clicking around YouTube in my subscriptions and all of a sudden this post came up and it was like, oh, confirmation of all the cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine. And I was like, fuck no, I don't want to know.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
almost like
there's a ton.
at a certain, especially given that there's the TVA are involved, so
Hmm.
there's going to be a few cameos. It would be churlish to think there wouldn't be, but like you
Right.
said, like at this point, I know I'm going to see it. I'm going to see
Of
it as
course.
soon as I possibly can. So of course I'm going to try and be as spoiler free as I possibly can too.
Yeah, this is one I want to go. Like
Yeah.
normally, I don't care, bring it all on, but I actually want to be surprised. And there are more than a few. There are a ton of
I
cameos. It's
and
been
I
said.
think we've learned from you and I have learned from Doctor Strange, and this will be my
Yes.
final thought, is that
Yep.
watching
Same.
watching a trailer and thinking, wait, there's no way they'd reveal the only cameos in the trailer.
Exactly.
Well,
And they
they did.
did. Yep.
And now I don't want to learn anything about it, like the Wolverine, Deadpool 3 or Deadpool Wolverine, because I want to go and be, holy shit, that's
Exactly.
Steve Rogers. Holy shit, that's someone else. I'm like,
Yep.
no, I need to go into this as blind as possible so that I just take it all in. Because I was watching, after seeing the trailer for Doctor Strange 2, I was
Hmm. Of
waiting for Tobey Maguire to show up. I was waiting for all these other people and they didn't. I'm like,
course.
huh. So
Yeah, like the rumor mill, like we were waiting for a massive, like multiversal follow up to No Way Home. I thought it was just going to be like a parade of people going into the next phase of the MCU. And like
yeah,
you said, they literally blew their load in the trailer, which, given the creative team, will absolutely not happen. There's no way Ryan Reynolds and company are going to do that. Like they're
no,
very
like
smart.
they know it's going to get spoiled eventually,
Of
but I
course.
think for the first few days they want to try and keep it as secret as they can. So you're not
Yeah.
going to say, "Hey, here's in the trailer." We're all going to go and see the film anyway, right? Like if you're an MCU fan,
Yep.
it's everyone. So
Yeah, no. But like you said, I have no final thoughts. The only thing before we go, next week is Money in the Bank. Are we winding up Matthew for that?
uh
I know he's on
sure, yeah.
vacation right now.
Is he? Yeah. I mean we'll touch base with him, see what happens. I always enjoy those shows when I have no idea what's going on Because sometimes I'm more right than I have any. My predictions are more accurate than they have any right to be.
You are. It's so funny because we
Yeah.
look at it from lifelong WWE fans that we've been conditioned, and this new regime throws curveballs left and right.
Yeah.
So
I'm like,
it's
it's
fun.
probably going to be like this. So,
Yeah, you
all
look
right,
at it practical and like, oh, this is logical, and we're
this is
like,
how it's
no.
going to be.
But
So,
yeah, I have no final thoughts. I'm glad we hopped on,
agreed.
and
Folks,
yeah,
we'll catch you next week. Yeah, probably a Money in the Bank show. There may
I
be
would say
something
so.
else. And yeah, this is one of those things where we need to get better at learning how to end the bloody show, but we haven't gotten there yet. After 275 episodes, we're probably
We'll get
never
there.
gonna get there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm off.
Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.